Hello, I'm Sheila Sgarzi. I'm the town engineer. I'm here today to present the proposed Brook Road Bridge replacement project for you. So I'm going to share my screen and we'll get into a PowerPoint presentation. So once again, I'm here to present the Brook Road Bridge replacement project. Now we are proposing this project under Article 4 of the Fall Town Meeting scheduled for Saturday, October 16th. Now, the Brook Road Bridge dates back to at least the mid-19th century. We actually haven't been able to pinpoint a construction date, but have found reference in historic town reports dating back to the mid-1800s. And we believe that the bridge may actually be even older than that. Now, as you can guess, the bridge wasn't originally designed to support vehicular traffic, but improvements were made to the bridge back in 1926. When steel I-beams were added within the wooden decking. And you can actually see the wooden decking in this historic photo of the bridge. It's a little hard to see, but it's at the center bottom of the picture. So in 2005, the town posted a 3-ton, 2-axle weight limit on the bridge. This weight limit precluded fire engines, ambulances, garbage trucks, and school buses from crossing the structure. Now, there has been some dialogue in the community about whether or not the Brook Road Bridge is in need of replacement. So we wanted to take a few slides to highlight the condition of the bridge for you. Now, we have 2 engineering reports dating back to 1999 and 2010 that both called out the poor condition of the structure. As I just mentioned, back in 2005, a weight limit was posted on the bridge. We have bridge inspection reports that were completed in 2010, 2016, 2018, and 2020. All these reports called attention to the condition of the structure. Now, the background photos that you see on this slide are from the 2020 bridge inspection report. Notice the pitting and section loss on the beams in the upper right corner of your screen. You can also see voids in the walls, and the northeast wing wall is leaning. Now, these are flaws that are rather concerning to structural engineers. And on July 7th, 2021, load calculations indicated that the bridge is stressed beyond allowable limits, and the town closed the bridge. So the Plymouth DPW has long recognized the need to replace the Brook Road Bridge. The engineering division has actually submitted capital requests for the Brook Road Bridge replacement project for 7 years in a row now. And the project did make it to the spring virtual town meeting that was held in August 2020, but it failed to garner the necessary 2/3 majority vote. The vote was yes 67, no 55, and abstain 3. So in 1999, Beta Engineering performed a comprehensive assessment of bridges and culverts throughout town. The assessment included the Brook Road Bridge. Now, we've highlighted a portion of that report on this slide to emphasize that 22 years ago, the bridge substructure was considered to be in fair to poor condition. Lateral displacement of stones and movement of the northeast wall, as seen in the previous slide, were also observed back in 1999. Moreover, the Beta report concludes that ultimately, the town should investigate replacement of the entire bridge with a new structure designed in accordance with AASHTO standards and/or close the bridge to vehicular traffic. So in 2010, Churchill Engineering also examined the bridge and provided the town with a written report. Now, we've included photos from that assessment on this slide. Once again, you can see the voids, missing stones, and lateral displacement of the structure. And I'd just like to read a portion of that report to you. And again, this report is 11 years old, and I'm going to be reading that portion outlined in red at the bottom right of your screen. Based upon the advanced age of the structure, Brook Road over Beaver Dam Brook is nearing or may have exceeded its expected useful life cycle. In addition, this structure is of limited width, restricted in allowable live loading, and lacks a pedestrian walkway. Improvements to bring this structure into compliance with current design standards are considered beyond the scope of remedial repairs. Correction of the above deficiencies would appear to require complete replacement of the structure. Hence, the town of Plymouth may find it advantageous to consider such needs in their capital planning. So that's two engineering reports, 11 and 22 years old, that both mention replacing the Brook Road Bridge. Now, this slide shows the original bridge design that was rejected by town meeting in August 2020. On the lower left, you see an overview showing the proposed easements outlined in blue. And on the right, you see a rendering of the bridge. Now, this design was in compliance with AASHTO, MassDOT, and Complete Streets design standards. The bridge itself was proposed to consist of two 11-foot wide travel lanes, plus a 5.5-foot wide sidewalk. Now, Brook Road is a windy two-lane road of variable width. The existing bridge is one lane and it's only about 11 feet wide. So the proposed bridge was more than double the width of the existing Brook Road Bridge. Now, it's also important to be aware that Brook Road is considered to be a used and maintained road. This means that the town has rights within the paved limits of the road, but the road does not have a defined layout. As a result, permanent easements are required in order to construct and maintain the bridge. So after this project was rejected by town meeting, we attempted to bring it back before spring 2021 town meeting for reconsideration. However, the project did not advance forward because the select board did not support the proposed easements. There was significant public opposition to the width of the proposed structure and the extent of the proposed takings. Now, I do want to point out that the proposed takings reflected an overall 40-foot wide roadway layout. 40 feet wide is the minimum design standard for road acceptance in Plymouth, so what was being proposed wasn't out of the ordinary. Nevertheless, the directive we received from the select board was to redesign a narrower bridge and minimize the takings. And as you'll see in the upcoming slides, that's what we've been trying to do. So we went back to the consultant and asked them to come up with conceptual designs for a narrower bridge. At the same time, we were becoming increasingly concerned with the integrity of the bridge. So we asked the engineers to evaluate the structure. On July 7th, 2021, the town received a load analysis indicating that the bridge is stressed beyond allowable limits and should be closed. Upon receiving this news, the DPW acted promptly and closed the bridge the same day. Now, we initially closed the bridge to both vehicles and pedestrians. However, upon further consultation with the structural engineers, we were able to open the bridge up to pedestrians only. And this slide shows a picture taken of the bridge shortly after it was closed, and it looks like that out there today. So in the meantime, the bridge engineers came up with 5 conceptual bridge designs, which we presented at a public information session on August 11th. We also included a revised 30-foot wide layout associated with each of these 5 design concepts. Now, I'd like to emphasize that 18 feet is the minimum width allowable by the fire department and MassDOT. So all of the design options presented a minimum width of 18 feet. Now, on the left of your screen, you'll see the different concepts that we presented. Alternate 1 is an 18-foot wide travel lane, and that would accommodate two-way traffic. Alternate 2 is a 22-foot wide paved roadway that consists of an 18-foot wide travel lane, again, two-way traffic, plus 2-foot fog lines on either side. Alternate 3 is an 18-foot wide travel lane with a 3-foot wide sidewalk on the north side of the bridge. And alternate 4 is a 14-foot wide paved roadway with a 4-foot wide mountable sidewalk on the north side, and that would allow emergency vehicles to access the bridge. Now, alternate 4, that is a one-way scenario, so we would either have to make Brook Road one-way or we'd have to install a traffic signal at the bridge. In alternate 5, there are 2 options. That's the addition of a faux wooden or steel truss, and that's purely for aesthetics, and that could be applied to any of the 4 options you see above. So upon conclusion of the public information session, the preferred option was alternate 1. This slide shows some renderings of alternate 1 to give you a sense of what the bridge would look like when constructed. Now, alternate 1 is comprised of the 18-foot wide two-way travel lane. This option does not include a sidewalk. However, this is the least expensive option and it minimizes the extent of proposed easements. Now, although the residents supported alternate 1, they still were not pleased with the revised 30-foot wide layout. So they asked us to revisit the proposed easement areas and to minimize them to the greatest extent possible. So for the past month or so, we've been working pretty hard to reduce the proposed permanent easement areas as much as possible. And this slide gives you a breakdown of how the easement areas have been reduced over time. So the area you see outlined in yellow, that is associated with the original bridge design, that 40-foot wide layout. Now that affected 8 properties and it was taking a total square footage of about 28,475 square feet of permanent easements. What you see outlined in red is the reduced 30-foot wide layout that we proposed at the August 11th meeting. That affected 6 properties, and it was about 14,648 square feet of permanent easements. And what you see outlined in light blue is what we've come up with recently. So this option affects 4 properties. It's about 7,561 square feet of permanent easements, plus another 466 square feet of temporary easements. And the temporary easements is the area you see outlined in red at the lower right of the screen, and that is for a wetland replication area. So the total project cost for design alternate 1 is $1.85 million. We have a $500,000 MassDOT Municipal Small Bridge Grant in place. Therefore, we are requesting a total of $1.35 million of funding at Fall Town Meeting to complete design and construction of the new bridge. Now, upon receiving approval from Fall Town Meeting, we will be able to complete the design of alternate 1 and finalize the proposed easement areas. Now, we have honed in on the easement areas as much as possible during this conceptual design stage, but because we are presenting the bare minimum, we won't be able to define the precise easement areas until the bridge is fully designed. As a result, if Fall Town Meeting supports the project, we will commence final design with the intent of bringing the easements to 2022 Spring Town Meeting for consideration. Upon approval of both the funding and the easements, construction would then commence in the summer of 2022. So that about sums up where we're at with the proposed Brook Road Bridge replacement project. Now, we consider this to be an important infrastructure replacement project that will improve public safety in the town of Plymouth. Now, on behalf of the DPW, I respectfully request your support of this project at town meeting. If you'd like additional information on the project, you can find that on the Town of Plymouth Engineering webpage under Brook Road Bridge. And I want to thank you for your time and consideration.